Okay. Hello and welcome, buddy. What is going on? So, we've lost 3-0 against PSG. We were terrible. We were trash. I don't think we actually had a game plan, in all fairness. I think we just came there and started crossing. Yeah. That is pretty much it. I think most of us actually kind of expected that, in all fairness. I think most of us... that was a frustrating match to watch. I was actually pretty positive before the game. I know I shouldn't have been, but I was pretty positive. You know what? I thought there is no way Ancelotti wouldn't want to take revenge on PSG. There is no way we would play bad again after the shit show that we showed last time. There is no way that we would be absolutely dismantled, especially not on the Champions League, especially not when the players know that the coach and the players themselves are being criticised, are under pressure right now, under fire right now. And just looking at all these things, I just thought, you know what? There is no way we could potentially play bad. This is going to be a good match. We're going to do very well, and we're going to come out there with a win or a draw, one or the other. Now that was the positive side of me. That was the optimist inside of me talking. The realist inside of me was saying, yeah, we're gonna get absolutely slaughtered. And you know what? We absolutely got slaughtered today. We absolutely got slaughtered. You know, we had no game plan besides crossing the ball. I mean, that's basically been our game plan now for nearly a year now. Just get the ball to the wings, cross 50 times, and perhaps one of the 50 times we might get the ball to Lewandowski or Müller, and maybe they can score. And that was essentially the same plan today, where we just tried crossing, and it just ended up being failure. I mean, PSG, they didn't really have to do much. All they had to do, mark Lewandowski, and we don't have a single other player who's going to score. We don't have a single other player who's actually going to get a goal, because that's just the way we have been. Lewandowski has been our only source of goals, you know, whether that's penalties, whether that's free kicks, whether that's just normal goals. He's been our only source of goals. So essentially, to get rid of us, all you have to do is just stop Lewandowski. If you stop Lewandowski, we don't score. It's that simple. I mean, if you're a coach right now for a different club and you think, oh, how could I set up against Bayern? Really simple. Mark Lewandowski and we don't score a goal. Mark Lewandowski and we're useless. And considering the attacking talent that we had out there, I mean, today obviously we didn't play with wingers. Today we didn't really try that, but considering the attacking talent we had out there, we really should have done much better. I didn't think we were absolutely terrible, at least on the offensive side of things. Although we were, we only had one game plan, which was crossing. But I thought if you're gonna have one game plan, which is crossing the ball, at least take quick crosses, at least find players. Don't just cross endlessly into the box. And essentially that's what it was. It was just endlessly crossing into the box, taking very slow crosses, taking the ball and then, not even looking up, just taking the ball, letting it, slow down, let everyone get into defensive position and then cross it into no one's land, because that's just the way we have been playing today. And it's just a feature of our game now for so long that honestly, it is frustrating to watch. It really is. It is the kind of football that you see at my local Sunday league club, where essentially all you have to do is just, the wingers let them cross. That's what a winger does. Let them cross, or that's what fullbacks do. Let them cross, and then that's it. That's honestly it. There is nothing else to it. That's honestly it, and it just shows you that's honestly how we play. And there's nothing to it. There's no game plan. There is no structure. I mean, defensively, there was no defense. Let's put that right into context. There was no defense. Every time PSG attacked, all they had to do was run. They didn't even have to really beat our players. All they had to do was just run. And that's just the feature of our game. Now, that's just a feature of the way we played. I mean, we conceded in the second minute, okay? If you concede in the second minute, you have to go for the attack, but you also need to know that they're going to now try and counter, and that's exactly what PSG did. They tried and countered, but the thing is, we weren't set up for that. The thing is, we didn't know how to defend that. The thing is, we looked like toddlers out there today. Defensively, we looked like toddlers out there. Our midfield was essentially non-existent. I mean, this was probably Thiago's worst game he's had in a very long time. He's still able to beat his man. That's the brilliance of him, but then every time he try and do a pass, intercepted. You have Alaba, who was just terrible. I mean, there's a reason why PSG mainly attacked through their right, through our left, because Alaba, he was playing as a winger today instead of a wing back, instead of a full back. So obviously that was the area that PSG mainly attacked through. It was essentially just Sula versus Mbappe, not even Alaba versus Mbappe, which is just a massive issue, because obviously Sula is nowhere. He's not gonna beat Mbappe in a race. That's never gonna happen. It will never happen. It was just a foolish idea to even think that was gonna happen. That's gonna be in our favor. Perhaps the only two players that could really end, that could really leave the pitch today with their heads held high were perhaps Kimmich and Coman. Kimmich, even not that much. Kimmich, he was pretty good here and there, but he wasn't outstanding. Coman, when he came on, at least he proved that he wanted to play. At least he proved why he should have started. At least he proved that, you know what, he may be inexperienced, he may be still a very young kid, but the guy will try. He may not always succeed, but the guy will try. And I think he was probably our most likeliest outset. He was probably our most likeliest source of goal today. And yeah, it was just a shame that it really didn't come off for him. But honestly, we were just poor all around. Honestly, we were just trash all around. We were just absolutely terrible. We were just absolutely atrocious. I mean, that's just the way it was. We were just absolutely awful, and that's just the way it is. Just dire, disastrous, and quite frankly, disturbing. Quite frankly, disturbing when you think about how good we were a few years ago. When you think about how good we looked 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I mean, you go back. I think the last time we looked this poor, you have to probably go back to like the 2008 campaign, 2009 campaign. The last time we looked this bad. There's a lot of issues today. There was so many issues today that it's just difficult to actually justify, to actually sit here and say, you know what, yeah, there was some positive. There weren't really any. There was no positives. Coleman, the only positive, perhaps. And that's it. That's it. That's honest. That's it. It's just a terrible showing. It was just a terrible match all around. It was just awful. It's awful. Now, obviously, the questions will be raised again with Ancelotti. The questions will be raised with the board. I mean, everyone is gonna raise their questions. Let's face it. Let's just put it out there. Everyone is gonna be saying their stuff right now. And the obvious question right now is, what do you guys think? Do you guys think it's the board? Should we have gotten other players? I mean, you look at the players that PSG have. Look at the players. Let's put it in context. Like, look at the players that Manchester City have. They have Sané. We could have bought him. Kevin De Bruyne. We could have bought him. Then you have likes of Di Maria. We could have bought him. Draxler, he was offered to us and we didn't buy him because, well, why should we get Draxler? We need to think about the strikers and the players, the offensive players that we have. He was literally offered to us. They literally said, do you want Draxler? He literally said, can I come to Bayern? And we said, you know what? No. We're already stacked in those positions. Why would we get another player? We're already stacked in those positions. So obviously the question will be raised at the board. Then the questions will obviously also be raised at Carlo Ancelotti. I mean, he's Carlo Ancelotti. I mean, I don't really need to say anything about that anymore, really. Honestly, I mean, the funny thing is, there's like one person. I know one person on Twitter who was defending, who was saying that that people are being too harsh on Carlo Ancelotti. There's one person I know on Twitter. And even they, halfway through the game, they're like, you know what, this is rubbish. Scrap that. This is rubbish. This is nonsense. This is just terrible. There is no other way to describe it than terrible. I mean, I could literally right now Google up terrible, and you'd see a picture of Bayern. You see a picture of Bayern today, and that's just the way it is right now. I mean, we were trash. And I don't think I've ever seen us be this trash. Honestly, be this bad in a game that I thought, there is so much pressure on us. There is so much, there is so much need for us to do well. I mean, usually, we have pretty bad games, against lower league clubs and whatnot. You have an off day here and there when the players they don't feel like it, or they just think that it's going to be an automatic win. These kind of things, they happen. But against a good team, I don't think I've seen us play this badly, honestly. Ever since the Real Madrid match. How many years ago was it? Like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Ever since that match, the second leg. Ever since that match, I've never really seen us play this bad against a top level opposition. And even in that match, I didn't think we were that bad. I just thought we're a bit unlucky here and there, but today it was just a case of no. Today was pretty much a carbon copy of that game. It was pretty much a carbon copy of that game. Just in that game, we could have actually gotten a goal here or there. Today, that was not the case. Yeah, today was absolutely terrible. Today was absolutely terrible, and to think I rushed home just to think that I rushed home. I mean, I could have avoided this match. I could have avoided this match. It's gonna be interesting to see what. It's gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna be very interesting to see what Ancelotti and especially Rummenigge and Uli Hoeneß will say after this match. At this point, I'm just hoping that the season ends. At this point, we're not even in October yet. It's still in September, and I'm hoping that this season ends. We're just a sorry side. We're just a very sorry side, and I feel like maybe this might. I don't think it will. I honestly don't think it will, but I think, though, I'm hoping. Maybe I'm really, really hoping that maybe this match will wake people up. Or will wake people up at the higher ups. That they can actually say, you know what, there needs to be a few changes. I don't think it's going to happen, in all honesty. But, and it's starting to rain as well. I guess it's true what they say. When it rains, it pours, and it's literally pouring right now. Joy. Joy. Joy.